Ask you, man, how's your spring been so far?
Yeah.
Back from injury?
Yeah, it's I'd say the biggest thing for me is just grateful I'm out here. It was a tough season to battle through that injury, and just being sidelined for over half the season was just a hard process to go through. So just grateful to be back out in the field, and spring's been awesome.
If it's okay asking, just what injuries have you had to go through? I know that you had to move on, but
Mm-hmm.
you checked out through last year, but what other injuries did you have to go through too?
Yeah, so I sprained Liz Frank ligament in my left foot, and that was like the major one that I was out with. And then I was dealing with like a couple like just mobility issues just correlated with that, but got that fixed over break and able to go now.
I guess with that, how has the spring been for you? You have, obviously the numbers have been low in terms of available tight ends, but how do you feel the reps have helped you progress, especially with changes in the offense?
Yeah, I think just getting back into spring, the first part was definitely just shaking the rust off of not being able to be out there for a while. But yeah, I mean, we were dealing with low numbers to start. Now we're getting guys back like Cole, Dakvich is able to go more, Pugh's back full, and it's been awesome just kind of rotating through everybody and seeing what everybody can give. So yeah, it's been a great experience.
You mentioned Jackson. What stood out about him? Obviously, he was here last year. What do you think he's made strides?
You talking about Pugh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pugh's been I've been so impressed with him. Just going from, because he didn't do a ton, he wasn't able to do a ton last year. So this is like the first time that we've all really put eyes on him, and he's just been impressing all of us. Just for a guy like that, it takes a while to get footwork down, to get hand placement down, and he's showing flashes that he can do it. So it's been pretty impressive how far he's come.
In terms of changes to the offense, just for those that don't really, especially at the tight end spot where talking to your position coach, the way that things may be done with what will be required of the right tight ends may be different. For you, how does that translate? What are you seeing in terms of your responsibilities and what Bobby and Chris want to do with tight ends and offense now?
Yeah, I think our world has been a lot more simplified compared to last year, and I think that's a great thing for us because it just allows us to play way more confidently, way quicker, and just cut it loose more.
It's bring up a sore subject, but your father was teammates with Gary at Penn State. Can you just talk about your relationship you might have had with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's still tough. Like, all of us are dealing with it and just praying for the Brown family right now. But when I first got here, I talked to my dad about Gary because I had never met him before he got here. But as soon as he came here, we clicked instantly, just telling old stories about him and my dad, and even Coach Ingram. My dad played with Coach Ingram at Penn State too, so there's a lot of connections there. But man, I love Coach Brown. It's tough not to have him here anymore.
How have you seen the team respond with, I know you had practice yesterday, but just meetings and whatnot, just what's kind of in the mood, and how are you all helping each other, the program helping each other out?
Yeah, so when Coach Brown is here in a lot of the meetings, he would always talk about live every day like it's your last. And just after that, I think everybody's like, that's real. And it was definitely an emotional day, our first practice back, but I think everybody really bought in that mindset. Just you don't know when it's going to be, so make the most of everything you have.
Kind of going away from maybe a darker subject, but you mentioned that your dad was also doing with Bobby. Did you know him before you got
Yeah.
here? How did that maybe help you?
So, yeah, there's a cool story when I think I was a sophomore in high school. It was I don't know if it was my first visit or one of my earlier visits out here. I was in the airport, and I was wearing all Wisconsin stuff, but Dean was actually on the same flight as me. I think we were flying to Baltimore to here, and he came over to me and was like, "You going to Wisconsin this weekend?" I'm like, yeah. So we were talking a little bit. We ended up sitting next to each other on the plane, and we didn't realize like the connection at first, but after we got off the plane, I had Dean come over and meet my parents and stuff, and he was talking to my dad, and he was like, "Where are you looking?" He's like, "Wisconsin, Penn State." He's like, "My dad actually played at Penn State." And my dad heard that, and he's like, "What's your dad's name?" He's like, "Bobby Ingram." And my dad right there called Bobby. So that was just super cool to be able to find that. So I've known Dean a while now, but that actually was also my first time meeting Coach Ingram when he got here. I hadn't met him previously, but there was already a connection there, so it's been awesome.
Is it kind of go back to the changes that offense has made some play? Is there an area just to describe that be an example of what was being asked before compared to what's being asked now?
Yeah, I think a lot of it translates from what we were doing, as in like inside zone, outside zone. There's just a little more emphasis on different areas in that aspect. So I think just being able to focus on what we're going to be running more is easier, because I think last year was a little broader, or we had like a wider agenda of what we were running. So definitely just being able to focus on different aspects of the run game, pass game more.
And then as a receiver, talking about pass game, receivers, we saw you pulling in a catch down the field
Yeah.
this week or so.
Yep.
A week or two. Just how are you feeling about that? I know Chris talked about how he doesn't see you just as a blocker, but every down tight end. How are you feeling about your receiving skills?
Yeah, I think I've been utilizing pass game a lot more now, which was awesome, because sometimes I know lining up in the past, especially during practice and stuff, I'd get down a 3-point stance like, all right, he's blocking. But I think that opens up the run game for me even more too, because now I have to consider I could be running a route. So yeah, it's been fun.
You mentioned Cole earlier. He's another guy that we haven't really seen a whole lot of. What do you think he can give you guys if he's at full strength?
Yeah, I know just from watching the film yesterday, and I had already known Cole was like this, but he just cuts it loose. Like he had one, he was fitting the B gap from distance, and you could tell how much he just wanted to go crush somebody. So he's punishing blocker, and you'll be seeing him a lot there.